Hello, fellow duelists. This is Shadow of the Moon, and today we're going to be doing an updated deck profile of my Fiendsmith Blackwing deck for September of 2025. This is an updated list of the Fiendsmith variant of Blackwings, and I'm going to have a lot of fun to actually be able to show this to you. If you are wondering about combos, I do have combos on my playlist. Just go to test stands and combo videos under one of my playlists and select the combo that goes with the Fiendsmith Blackwings. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started on the deck profile. So, obviously, you're going to start off with 3 Simoons. This is important card of the deck, and not as important because you do have other ways to play. But Simoon obviously is always the starter. And then you have 3 Sudris. 3 Sudris is one of the best cards in this deck, actually, even more so than Simoon, because you are not locked into dark types when you special summon this, or when you normal or special summon this, and you can continue your combos. You can even still play with the Fiendsmith part of it. If you have Simoon, you can play with the Fiendsmith part. It's just a little bit more difficult. And then we're going to be playing 3 Vadas. 3 Vadas, really good with this deck, obviously, and with any Blackwing variant, you always have to have 3. 2 Shamals. You only need 2 in this deck, honestly, just for this variant. And then for the one-ofs, we've got 1 Zonda, 1 Zephyros. Gale, this is personal choice. You don't have to have this guy in here. I actually like it in here because it's Gale. And then 1 Hammerton, 1 Sharanga, and 1 Chinook to round up the 6 one-ofs. Then for the spells and traps, we're going to be playing 2 Black Whirlwinds, 1 Black Feather Whirlwind. This is all standard. Black Whirlwind and Black Feather Whirlwind helps you kind of go into your combos. You do not want to see both of these in your hand. Unfortunately, it could, especially if you have Simoon. I've had it before. It sucks. But yeah, you've got those to go with the combo. And then 1 Pot of Prosperity, just in case you want to dig into your deck and be able to draw 6 cards, which always is helpful. Then we're going to move on to the Fiendsmith part of the section. So it's kind of it's a small Fiendsmith engine. You don't really need too much. So you've got 3 Engravers. Engraver is the combo starter. So you discard Engraver. It adds Tracked or a Fiendsmith card from your deck to your hand. And then from there, you're going to be comboing off. You're going to have these in the graveyard. You're going to go into Requiem, and then Requiem will help you go into Engraver with the Lacrima. And then what you'll do from there is you'll go into Desiree. Desiree can have up to 3. If you equipped it, you'll have up to 3 different monster negates, spell trap negates, or whatever that are face up on the field. Really good for this deck. So it's kind of like a stronger version of Red Hot Abyss. You just can't, if you play it, you can't use Simon's second effect, but that's fine. And then we're going to be playing the 1 Lacrima, Crimson Tears. We're playing 1 Lurie, which is the one of. You're playing 1 Fiendsmith Track. This is just the one of them. The deck really helps with it. And then 1 Fiendsmith in Paradise, because Fiendsmith in Paradise is kind of like a good hand trap in the graveyard. It's a good interruption if you put it in there, and it really does help with the deck. So that's it for the Fiendsmith part. Now we're going to move on to the hand traps. This is a 40-card deck. If you wanted to make it more, you could make it 42, 43, 44, and add more hand traps. You could add more of the Fiendsmith, like Tracked or whatever, if you really wanted to. But I'm just playing with the simple hand traps. Now, once again, remember, hand traps are universal. It doesn't matter what hand traps you want to put in there, as long as, you know, you have the portion for it. So then you've got 3 Ash. This is just the 3 Ghost Ogre. Once again, 3 Effect Failure. And then 1 Bestial Druid Swarm, 1 Magna Hut, because these are actually really good extenders, especially for this deck. Helps you go into the Chaos Angel with him and Lacrima to make it basically indestructible. And then you have the 1 Nibiru to kind of stop your opponent from doing anything too crazy. Nibiru, especially in this format, though, isn't really the best. It's kind of like lackluster because it's like, you know, if you're playing against like Yummy and K9 and you're playing against Draco Tail, like they're already going to be summoning the 4 monsters, and then the big Draco Tail boss monster already has the ability to negate it, so it is what it is. And then you have for the extra deck, we've got 2 Blackwing Assault Dragons, 2 Blackwing Dragons, 1 Blackwing Full Armor Master, 1 Armor Master. Once again, this could replace with any other card if you wanted to. And then 1 Notham and 1 Boreas Storm to round up the Blackwing section of this deck. Then we're going to go on to the non-Blackwing. So you've got your Disbatter, you've got your Chaos Angel. Obviously, the best cards, easy way to get Indestructible Chaos Angel. Then 1 SP Little Knight, and then Wystrix in case they do negate something. Lystrix is really good. If they negate Sudri's effect, you can still kind of like loop as you always able to, which is a really good thing. And then we're going to be playing the Fiendsmith package in the deck, and there's only 3 cards in here. Since Sun and Moon got banned, you can't easily go into it, but this deck didn't really have to rely on that too much. We kind of just, would play Fiendsmith without all that stuff. So you've got Requiem, you've got Sequence, and then you've got Desiree. And this is pretty much all you're going to need. Desiree is great because this becomes basically a face-up negate on your opponent's side of the field or whatever. You can negate up to a certain number of cards with link material and all that stuff, link markers, which is really good because this will make it 3. And it can become 3,400, which is really good, already beaten over Blue Eyes. And then on top of that, like I said, it can negate. And then if you have Fiendsmith, you can send all the cards to the graveyard except for this guy, so it kind of acts as like a dark hole or heavy storm of everything, so it really, really does help. Alright, so that's going to be it for this deck profile. I hope you enjoy it. Fiendsmith variant is really awesome. I really love, that it is still competitive and that you can still do a lot with it. It does remind me of the pure variant because you do have that Desiree and you do have other options. I know the Lacrima, the Lacrima that was permanently banned before, has now come off to 1 in the ban list, which is great. If you definitely want to play that, that is an option that you can now, which is kind of cool. You can also play Necroclipped if you wanted to, or if you wanted to play with Caesar Necroclipped to kind of stop Nibiru, you could. I have noticed that Nibiru isn't really a big thing in the TCG right now. In Master Duel, obviously, that's always going to be a thing because it is a 1-up format, but in the TCG with the three rounds or whatever, or like three duels, and then you would get, you'd have to win 2 matches. It's a little bit different because you are consistently trying to make sure that your opponent doesn't, that you get Nibiru get dropped on you, and then you have to kind of recover from that. So yeah, unfortunately that's how it is, but in this format Nibiru isn't as strong as it usually is because a lot of decks kind of can play over it, but that's just my, thoughts on it by seeing testing and everything. Anyways, enough of me rambling. If you want a really cool deck, a deck that kind of shows off, and you really like the whole Fiendsmith archetype, give this deck a try. It's actually really good. A lot of people say that the Fiendsmith and the Blackwing can't really coincide and work, but I beg to differ because as long as you play certain cards right and you know what you're doing, you can make the deck work. Like, if you have Simoon and you've got Engraver both in your hand, activate Simoon's effect first, so that way that if it gets negated or something, and if they play like something, then they can stop you from switching. Like if they play Ash, then you only have the Simoon, but also you can go and switch into your Engraver, and then you can kind of like, discard to the graveyard and then let them waste it. Then you can go into Desiree and some other really cool plays. Alright, so that's going to be it for this deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and with that, see you guys next time. Later.